Okay, to start off, if the camera's a little bit shaky, I have it in an awkward position, sitting in my car, propped up on the steering wheel, and I gotta like balance it with my fingers while I talk. Sorry. Um, Second off, man, I had a really hard time trying to trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about today, and there's so many fucking options, man, and like I got too much to say and not enough time to say it. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you a story about leadership, man. I have like 2 minutes before I have to clock back in for work, so I'm gonna try to get this done as fast as I can. So, you know, sometimes people are just an autopilot and they do whatever it is that they see other people doing, right? And they say that you have born leaders and born followers. I think that that's complete fucking bullshit. I think that if somebody sees you doing it and it inspires them, then they'll start doing it too. Here's a really dramatic story that's an example of that. So one time, I was like 19. I had just graduated out of Thunderbird. I was driving a 1987 Ford Tempo, and my girlfriend at the time was riding shotgun. I was on my way to put in job applications. We were on 21st and Garnett in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? At a stoplight. And there's a black car there. Traffic was fucking packed, but this an old man in a tan sedan comes flying. It's a red light and he's flying, man. He's not stopping. I don't know if he like had a seizure or if he was really fucking old, you know? And he slams into the back of that black car, man, pushed the whole fucking trunk inside of the other car, right? Just flies by, boom! And I sat there in shock for a minute, man. The streets were packed. People started getting out of their cars. And I told my girlfriend at the time, her name was Amanda, I said, get in the driver's seat. And I jump out and I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and I'm looking, and people have their cameras out already and they're videotaping the aftermath of the wreck. There's probably like 30 or 40 people out there. And all of a sudden the front passenger side door opens, and this young woman who was like 9 months pregnant rolls out of it, and she's bleeding. She's got so much blood on her face, man, like it was unreal. And the horn steadily blaring, and people are like, nobody's offering to help. She's screaming, get my baby, and people are just videotaping. And like, dude, I am fucking panicking. I ain't no fucking hero. I ain't no fucking copper, no fucking firefighter, you know what I'm saying? But I jet towards that car as fast as I fucking could, right? I look around, I'm panicking, but I'm trying to like assess the situation as calmly as I can. And I look through the driver's side door, and there's a woman who appeared to be her mom laid out over the horn, and that's why the horn was blaring, and she was cracked from her forehead to her chin, and blood was just pouring out of her face. It was fucking terrifying, okay? And I'm like, oh shit, man, and all I could remember was her screaming, get my baby. So I look in the back seat. And there's this little girl, probably about 4 years old. And the back seat had been pushed all the way to the front seat. The headrest to the front seat was under her chin like this, and the headrest to the back seat, the whole back seat was pressing her up against her. Her face was swollen and blue. Oh, and I could see a pencil and her coloring book and her colored pencil scattered around. She had a pencil kind of sticking out right here, like this. It's not funny. But I was like, holy shit. So I go to the back door and I try to open it and it's jammed. It won't fucking budge. So I'm like, I gotta do something. Everybody else is just standing. There's like 30 or 40 fucking people standing there with their fucking cell phones, taking videos or pictures or whatever the fuck they were doing, texting their fucking friends. So there's a little gap from where the door had got bent. And I grabbed that motherfucker. I wedged my fingers between the door and the door frame with both hands, and I put my foot up on the fucking back fender, and I start pulling that motherfucker as hard as I could. I'm pulling it, and people are watching them, and the top of it finally breaks. As soon as I did that, dude, I heard somebody else drop their phone. I heard their phone hit the ground. Probably broke the motherfucker. And next thing I know, this big jock motherfucker who was just standing there taking videos grabs the side of that fucking door frame with me and starts pulling it down. We pulled that motherfucker down like a goddamn tin can, right? To get to that little girl. Sometimes people just have to see the break. They have to see that beacon of fucking hope. Like, oh shit, there's something I could be doing. and they'll do it with you. You know, I published my first graphic novel. My little brother TC published one next year. We've been talking about it for a long time. He finally fucking did it. Sometimes you just have to be the first motherfucker to do it. We got that little girl out the back seat, and when she toppled over, I was fucking scared. I was scared. We had to pry the seats apart. A homeless man comes running up with a ball bat and wedged it between the seats and pried that motherfucker. I grabbed the little girl and drug her out. I know you're not supposed to do that, but she was fucking dying. I was scared. I made the first fucking move. I made the first break, and people followed me. They did what I was doing. That little girl survived. When she started breathing again, that gasp of air that she took into her lungs after she laid there for a second was the most beautiful sound that I ever heard in my fucking life. It was a life-changing experience for me. Be the fucking leader. Break that fucking door, and people will follow you. They'll help you with your shit, or pursue their own shit. Be the fucking leader.